Conversation. Breaking through imposter syndrome in the circle of sisters. Setting. 9 women gather in a cozy living room, seated in a circle on plush cushions. A candle burns in the center, symbolizing light and truth. Each woman brings her unique perspective, wisdom, and vulnerability to the circle. The energy is warm, supportive, and deeply connected. Facilitator, Amara, gently tapping a Tibetan bowl to signal the start of the discussion.
Tonight, I want us to talk about something many of us face but don't always name: imposter syndrome. That feeling that we're not good enough, that we don't belong, that we're somehow a fraud even as we try to step into our greatness. I'll start by saying this: imposter syndrome thrives in silence, so let's bring it into the light. Who feels this?
Tasha, taking a deep breath.
I'll go first. I've been feeling it a lot lately. I started a new business, something I'm so passionate about. But every time I put myself out there, I hear this voice saying, "Who do you think you are? You're still figuring your life out." And it gets loud, sisters, real loud.
Nia nods empathetically.
Tasha, I feel that. I'm working on my master's degree, and I can't tell you how many times I've sat in a classroom thinking, these people are going to find out I don't belong here. It's like my accomplishments don't feel real. It's exhausting.
Zara, leaning forward.
But here's the thing, you do belong. You wouldn't be in that room or running that business if you weren't meant to be there. I think imposter syndrome happens because we're stepping into new territory. It's unfamiliar, so we think we don't deserve it. But maybe that discomfort is just growth in disguise.
Amara, smiling warmly.
Zara, that's beautiful. Growth in disguise. Yes. Sisters, let me share something I heard. A bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking because her trust is not in the branch, it's in her own wings. What if we trusted our own wings more?
Kim pauses, reflecting.
Wow, that hit me. I think part of my imposter syndrome comes from comparing myself to others. Social media makes it so hard. Everyone looks like they've got it all figured out, and here I am, barely keeping it together.
Layla laughs softly.
Kim girl, let me tell you, nobody has it all figured out. You see their highlight reel, not their struggles. I've learned to remind myself that my journey is mine. It's not supposed to look like anyone else's.
Asha, softly.
That's true. But it's hard, isn't it? I think for me, imposter syndrome comes from my own expectations. I think I'm supposed to be perfect before I can call myself successful. But perfection is a lie. And chasing it just makes me feel like I'm failing.
Amara nods.
Asha, you're not alone. Perfection is the thief of progress. It's better to be real than perfect. What if we reframed imposter syndrome? What if we saw it as a sign that we're stretching ourselves, stepping into new levels of growth?
Maya snaps her fingers.
Yes, Amara. I've been thinking about that too. I read something that said, if you're not feeling imposter syndrome, you're not growing. It means you're stepping into something bigger than you've known. So maybe the goal isn't to avoid it, it's to push through it.
Tasha, taking a deep breath.
You know what? That makes me feel better. Maybe the fact that I feel this way means I'm on the right track. But I still struggle with this thought. How can I guide others when I'm still figuring it out myself? How do I own my voice when I feel so unfinished?
Nia.
Tasha, I hear you. I think it's about owning your story, even the messy parts. People don't connect with perfection. They connect with authenticity. Maybe it's not about having all the answers, but about being brave enough to share your journey.
Kim.
Yes, and remember, people are inspired by your willingness to try. You're not claiming to be perfect. You're claiming to be human, and there's power in that.
Layla.
Kim's right. I've started to tell myself you don't have to be the expert to make an impact. Sometimes just showing up as yourself is enough to help someone else.
Asha.
That resonates with me, Layla. But I think part of what holds me back is fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged. How do you push through the fear?
Amara.
Fear is natural, Asha. It's part of the process. But let me remind you of something: courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Start small. Take one step at a time. Every small win builds your confidence.
Maya,
And celebrate those wins, no matter how small. We don't do that enough. We're so focused on the big picture that we forget the power of small victories.
Sara,
Exactly. Those small wins are proof that you're moving forward, even when it doesn't feel like it. And when you string them together, they create momentum.
Amara, looking around the circle.
This conversation has been so powerful. Imposter syndrome may not go away overnight, but together, we can face it with courage and self-compassion. Let's close by sharing one affirmation that helps us when the doubt creeps in.
I am worthy of the space I occupy, and I trust my journey.
My accomplishments are real, and I belong in every room I step into.
I don't need to be perfect to make a difference.
My authenticity is my strength.
I am allowed to be both a work in progress and a masterpiece.
Every step I take forward, no matter how small, is a victory.
Growth comes from discomfort, and I embrace it with courage.
I trust my wings to carry me to places I've never been before.
The circle ends with warmth, laughter, and tears of relief. Each sister leaves with a renewed sense of purpose, grounded in her worth, and surrounded by the support of her community.